right here on HITV. Yeah, that must say somebody sing kunya. Na after the my father for now for so every one you anom. Ne yeba be de dwumede kese. And that show no will be strictly in English, but for the purpose of my introduction and commercial, no, I will keep that on the tree side. Then after that, we will switch over into the English aspect of it. So just so you guys know, today's show will be strictly be given to us in English because our guest for tonight speaks English or do not speak the local Ghanaian dialect. You know, that's how I ebekono. All right, so a quick one, just so everybody knows. You know, this weekend is a July 4th holiday, and I want to say happy 4th advance to each and every one watching us, whether being in the States, wherever you are. So far as you're American, happy 4th to everybody. All right, without much ado, let's go ahead and quickly acknowledge our sponsors for our show. Big shout out to Feel Good Services for such a great 3-4 weeks show. Man, that was time consuming. And right after that, then he went on vacation. So that should tell you, say, we drained a lot out of him. But as I can say, Feel Good Services. Feel Good Services. So if you're looking for a motivational speaker and that's a mental health educator, look no further but Feel Good Services at gmail.com and consult them for all your mental health education. Feel Good Homes. Feel Good Homes. So say if you're looking for a customized homes for individuals and that's a land to buy in Ghana, condos and apartments for good locations. Airbnb. We have great Airbnb locations at East Legon Hills. Into the contact Feelgood Services at gmail.com. Contact them at feelgoodservices at gmail.com or call them on 513-372-5758 and make your negotiations with them. Happy Glow GH, so you're right opposite Veggies and Grill, our Ashoman Estate, 20 minutes away from the community hospital. Contact Happy Glow GH for all your facials. Even if they don't have it, they can actually pre-order that for you and have you come pick it up or deliver it to you. So please contact them for all your beauty supplies, eyebrow or eyelash threading, waxing, pedicure, manicure, and also remember now mo na ho adwintwam na achese bo de mo mpese mo di nku be fa mo na ho bakokoda sorry na wona ho nyina aye moja no enye so close you and enya abo bi ntotom na akeka no abobo na ho wa wona ho de dende ne ene omore na aye de dende say saw blade and etwitwi wona ho call hypoglow gh ne kono ko treat sa ene yema no but that's it. Also, Awareness LLC. It says if you're looking for a family nurse practitioner, IV hydration, and that's be a primary care to even manage your weight. They're licensed in both Maryland and Ohio. Oswald Wellness LLC. Contact them for all your primary care issues at 513-268-2740. South Sudan may come with Yanyaba Millicent Owusu has one of the beautiful plan in terms of college fund, income protection, flexible work from home businesses, and also creating generational wealth for your family. She's a licensed financial professional, so call her at 937-321-2270 and set your family right. Set your family on the right path so that when they're 18 years old, they can still benefit from what you've been saving towards for them instead of waiting. Tatop Send, our main sponsor for our show, Time with Tatop Send. So again, those of you that are new to the show, with Time with Tatop Send, the first section is all educational or informational. Then after that, we do have a Q&A session whereby people come up with all their grievances, their concerns, their good stories, and also contributions that they have in terms of startup set. So for this part is it's just the time that we're going to be talking about some legal stuff and also having some great conversations with our lawyer or our special guest in the building today. But please download the app, okay? If at this point you haven't downloaded the app, now please shame on you. If you be listening and watching us for all this while and you haven't downloaded the app now, I'm humbly and pleading with you to let you know, say, please go do it. Because oh yes, and now woman will you my day. It is obi a minutiano. Me patcho me show. Please and please and please download the app. Make sure you put in the promo code PK P-KAY just for the purpose so they can get your rights. I know director said the drive was for to the end of June, but maybe today he might give us good news and extend the promotion maybe another 2 more weeks. So please put in the promo code PK just for the purpose of today so that you can get your bag of rice and also $15 on your first transaction. So please make sure you take care of that. And once you do, just send me the proof and I will make sure you get your rice, your bag of rice. All you have to send is $50 minimum. $50 minimum and you're good to go. So please make sure you take care of that. Again, it's fast, secured, reliable, and the rate is top notch. You cannot beat this anyway. Startup send. You want to make sure your money is saved where it's supposed to be. And you have value for your money. Like the saying goes, tap send, papa no. Into the me pomachon, yen patronize your startup send. Na bibia enkoso enye kama. At this point, I'm going to call upon Director David Ajay to give us some opening remarks and also if there's any new updates with startup send so that we can go ahead and start talking with our special guest today. Director, good evening to the show.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you so much. Thank you. As usual, thanks for everybody who's joined on a Monday evening. I'm sure. PK is displaying on the screen, which is live now. Just go into your app, click on the menu. It will just show you bill pay. You can test it out and buy some credit for like your loved ones back home. I want to be the first to announce this, and I know we discussed it internally. Everybody on the call, everybody who's dealt with FX, any the city is not doing so great. It's not. The dollar is dominating the city, and as such, it's affecting the economy locally. And Bank of Ghana has been monitoring the situation closely. So I cannot say for a fact, but I can see a world whereby they'll try to stabilize rates. For one, to make the city at least more to balance to save the economy locally. Here to listen to me blab on. He here to listen to the lawyer, and I'll give it right back to you, PK. And again, welcome, lawyer. We're happy to have you. We're happy to have you on today's show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Director David. Please, if you can hear me with the sound on, all social media platforms, please let me know if you can hear me with the sound because I'm getting notification that they can't hear us. Those of you on Facebook and YouTube, if you can hear before I introduce our guest, if you can please hear me, let me know. And if you could hear everything that Director David said. I know those of you on Zoom heard everything, but I'm talking about those of you on Facebook and If you can hear us, please let us know. Okay. All right. Notification was gotten, so we good. All right. We in business. So apparently, whoever made the complaint probably turned the volume down. So at this point, thank you very much, Director David, for such a great update with all the information that you've given us concerning TartupSend and the good stuff that TartupSend is bringing to the community. Because again, not too many platforms and vendors have that functionalities and options to make things better for people to communicate and interact with their families back home. So thank you guys very much for such great work, and also thank you for sponsoring this show as usual. And we are committed to bring you guys nothing but good stuff. Tonight in our midst, we have a lawyer from Sierra Leone. Yes, one of our own. But then he has been borrowed to the Ghanaian community now. Now he's Ghanaian by de facto. Okay. He goes to Ghana more than Director David and myself combined. So just imagine. Um, so we will be introducing shortly lawyer Toronka, and he will tell us a little bit about himself, his firm. Then we will dive right into the um, from getting green card, citizenship, the process involved in everything. From the look of things, we might not be able to complete everything tonight. So I have pleaded with him prior to the show. Usually I use my guests to plead on my behalf, but I pleaded with him prior to the show that in case we do not complete everything tonight, because we only have him for an hour and a half, is it possible for us to get him back next week? And he said, sure. And I actually saved that message in our communication, because tomorrow he might come and be like, no, I did not, and I'll send it back to him. Because lawyer, what is the name of the game? The name of the game is evidence, right? So if evidence is the name of the game, then I guess I have to make sure I have the empirical evidence to come forth when I'm pleading for the second time. So thank you very much for coming. But big shout out to my producer, director Nana Lord, and also A Class and Danny for making this show a possibility. Please take this opportunity to share the links to all your families, loved ones, the Zoom link, especially those who want to communicate and ask questions, because lawyer want to do more interactive with everybody today. So it's going to be very freestyle and ask your questions. Then after that, Malcolm is on the platform too. Malcolm is going to put all the contact information down. You will contact lawyer, schedule consultation sessions with him, and he will answer your question based on your tailored based on your situation. So please and please and please share the link and make sure that everybody gets here to ask and interact their personal questions, and not you hearing information to go back and tell them about it. Lawyer, welcome to the show, Time with TartupSend. Lawyer, I think you're on mute. We're waiting for lawyer to get his. So just hit the unmute button, and there you go. And if you don't mind making your camera like landscape for me, so that we can get you in the full picture. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Just like that. Welcome to the show, Time with TartupSend.
Thank you, PK. Thank you for having me.
We are very grateful. I know you're super busy, especially on the Monday night. And a big thanks to Lawyer Rhoda for making this happening, convincing you enough to make this happen. This has always been the demand and the request of our honorable viewers and listeners, and they want to hear more, because as Africans, we have a lot to talk about, a lot to ask when it comes to immigration. Since this is not our original home, what I mean by original home is we are the Africans. Our kids are African Americans, right? And then we have all those generational passage going on. So, what can we do in the diaspora to help ourselves and our families and loved ones, both back home and here in the diaspora? So, tell us a little bit about yourself, and also after that, we're just gonna delve right into today's topic.
All right, no problem. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. PK, first I want to really extend my, warm thank you to you and with all your growth, because you guys are doing a great service for the community. They say always knowledge is power, and you providing that to the community is much better because um, we see a lot of clients, Europeans, but Africans, in particular, they make some, mistake right from the beginning. And as they come in, those mistakes have everlasting effect on them. And we have a joke in our offices that most of the cases that always comes to us are the most difficult ones. Um, well, my name is Ishmael Sam Toronka. Uh, like you rightfully said, I'm from Sierra Leone. Been practicing law almost going to 20 years now. When we started practicing law, basically I was practicing criminal and civil litigation. It's actually a judge that got me in to do immigration. I guess they hear my name, they know where I'm from, and they bring me in. Um, I met my wife in law school. She also practices immigration,
Nice.
and I have 4 children, and pretty much we do have offices. We open Toronto law offices basically to serve the community, and we're general practitioners for the most part. But about 80% of our practice is immigration. And we have offices in Maryland. We actually started in Boston, went to Columbus, Ohio. Then we have in Maryland, Virginia, and Texas now, in Dallas.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so basically that's all about us. We've done this. We know how to do this the legal way, and we basically know we're there to help. When sometimes people go places or they've gone through all other places and there's no hope, and they come to us, and we through God's will, we're able to help them. Basically, also, we're kind of religious, and sometimes it's offensive to other people. But anything that we do, we put God first into it. So that's where we are at this time.
All right. Thank you very much, Lawyer Taranka. You have actually given us a good background overview of yourself, and we are very grateful on behalf of the Time with Startups and team. We are very grateful to have you with us tonight, and we are looking forward to actually learn a lot of stuff from you, and also hopefully get most of our concerns, answered, and possibly looking up to meeting and talking to you through consultation as time goes by. All right. So, for the purpose of today's topic, when we do talk about immigration, green card, first of all, one may ask, those of us that probably came through this country through the filing process or through the diverse lottery process or through marriage and never ever have to deal with, having an expired status and going through the green card process and getting your green card from that side, like I said, afterthought, may not understand the severity and the nitty gritties that goes into that. But again, at the end of the day, green cards becomes green cards, right? So can you let us understand what the green card is and also how to actually acquire it and the diverse means to acquire those green card legally?
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Um, if I understood you correctly, you were talking about like sometimes people win. I can tell you also the different ways you can get a green card, but you talked about people that win the lottery, the diversity lottery, and they came here also. And you said sometimes they don't have to deal with those problems. I would say we have a good chunk of cases in our offices, and Malcolm is an expert in that also. Um, people that win the lottery, they came in and they run into so many problems. They can even bring their children sometimes. And sometimes it's miracles, actually. When they come to us, we'll tell them you made a mistake right back from home when you're playing the lottery. And sometimes people don't list their children. They don't list that they're married. And then when they come in, they started listing those, in their, naturalization applications. When they want to become citizens, they started, listing those, the children, or sometimes they already filed for the children even while they still have their green card. So when you do that, then immigration then said you lied because they coined the term inadmissible. That means even though you came in with a green card, but legally and technically you are not really admitted into the United States because it came in through fraud or misrepresentation. So with that, it causes a lot of problems. So you find out people have gotten green cards. Not to boast, but we've pretty much been successful on those type of cases, but they are very difficult and they're also very expensive because it takes a lot of time. So just for a side note, before I start telling you, the different ways that people can get a, green card, it's just to be careful right from the beginning when you fill in those papers or somebody, fill in those papers for you when you play in the lottery and if you win, especially when you're doing the consular processing part of it, the visa application itself, the DS-260. Back then, they were doing it the DS-230, Part 1 and Part 2. Now they combine it. Because any information that you use there will really affect you later on. And sometimes also, people can get a green card. Let me jump into it. Wherein, your parents are here and you're back home and they filed for you. If your parents are, green card holders, they can file for you. It doesn't really matter as long as, you, even if you're over 21, if you have a green card, as long as you're not married, they can still file for you. If you're a citizen, they can file for you also. But for you to get that immediate status attached to it, you have to be, younger than 21. Very often, what happens is we see people, they go for the interview after they process all their paperwork, and they get excited when they're ready to leave before even they enter the United States. Then they decide to get married, and I'm telling you, a lot of people do that mistake. And also, they get married. Then when they enter, they tend then to file for their spouses. That causes a lot of headache, a lot of problem, because then your visa category has changed when you married before you enter the United States. And then the immigration or the government look at you that you're no longer unmarried child, now you're a married child. So instead of you coming right away, you should have waited at least for a few more years. And now they say you're inadmissible. And then it's hardly done, but if they want, they can go after your green card to say you really get your green card by, lying to them. But nobody really does that. But what they punish you is you cannot become a United States citizen. Sometimes you have to explain whatever it is. And most people have submitted even marriage certificates showing that they were married before they enter. So just for a side note, when a parent filed for you and you're trying to enter here in the United States, please, don't get married. Unless, we have a case recently wherein the person get married and they went to the embassy. They even gave the marriage certificate. But then the consular, rep that, interviewed them, they told them, oh, you can just come in, without letting them wait. Now they and through no fault of their own, they're filing for their citizenship. They deny the case. even though he discloses, he was upfront. They say, however, when you enter here, you were still not eligible at that time to enter. And, we're trying to figure out case laws upon case laws when the government made an error. But the law is not on this client's side, it's on the government's because they're bound to make mistakes, just like any person else. So he did not know, but they hold him to that. So that's another way, you just have to be careful. Don't list, don't go get married if you're not married, and just wait. When you get here, you can always, file for the person. You can go back and get married and bring the person, but enter first with the category that you qualified for before. So that's how, that's one way you get your green card, to come here. Most times also people, you can be also overseas or you can be over here if you're still in status, because you have to be in status for you to be able to change status. And Malcolm, you can always stop me because sometimes they say I give too much information. You have to be in status for you to adjust status, to change status. You can come here as a student. You can come here as you come in to visit. You can come here as a domestic worker. And some people come in with diplomatic passports. Of course, if you come as under the government organization and everything, you can still be able to adjust your status depending, where you fall into. But sometimes with diplomats, you have to do a waiver on that. So, and you can stop me anytime, PK, if you have any questions or anything.
I'm enjoying the information. So,
right. So,
what I'm gonna do is when the question comes and I get like a breaking pause in your talk, then I would just go ahead and throw the questions in there. So, as of right now, we're just gonna keep hearing the information that you're giving us. Then, once the question comes, like I will just try to read about 4 questions. Then we just keep moving. So, guys, keep bringing your questions on both social media platforms, the Zoom and social media as well, and also make sure I ask all your questions for you. Facebook, HITV, Facebook, Taps in Ghana, and also YouTube, HRTV, and I will make sure I ask all your questions for you.
All right, should I continue?
Yes, please.
All right, thank you, PK. Yeah, so people can come in with different status, non-immigrant visas, they call it. Or people can come in as students, if you're students, usually they give you what they call a durational stay. As long as you stay in school, your visa here is still, your admission here legally in the United States is still valid. But before I tell you, when you come in here, you can change status. Just a warning, because we see that also a lot in our practices. And that when people go for visas, most of the time, they indicate that they were married. And some of them don't even know the information, who the wife or the husband was, their date of birth or anything. But they've indicated that in their visa applications that they were married. When you're trying to adjust your status to get your green card or to switch into any other status in the United States, very often, because of electronic paperwork, the government will go back, or USCIS now, they will go back to the embassy to get your previous, application, visa application, whether, to come here, or some people have applied a few times, they change names and things like that. So you have to be careful the information that you put there. Make sure you keep them. Make sure you know them. Nowadays, people have, cell phones. You can take pictures and just keep that information, because that information will turn out to be very important, something very significant in your life. Because if you misrepresent, I can give you a lot of cases. I have people from Nigeria. They came, they said they were married. Or people from Ghana. They came, they said they were married. Now they don't know the people. And sometimes they already divorced, but Sometimes they have the Dropbox, DHL, and they don't still say they're not married, even though they divorced. And when in their green card, process, everything goes smoothly. But guess what? Now they say you lie, and you have to do what they call a waiver, 601 waiver, because now the government said you're inadmissible because of what had happened to you. So that information is whenever you're applying for visa, make sure the information you put there, that's the information you carry. And sometimes, people also in the visa application process, they use a different name, and then they come here, they change different names, or they want to change their names when they're doing their citizenship. Those are all red flags, and they start cautioning, the officers start cautioning. So you just have to be careful when you do those things. So once you come into the United States, say like you came in as a student, or you came into work or something, your status is still good. And if you come in with a